Hello survivors and welcome to First Aid Spray, a Resident Evil podcast by fans for fans. This is episode 60 and in this edition we celebrate another year of the podcast with the quiz. It's Trivia Challenge Round 4. My name is Sai and joining me on the panel this week, now he's had a starring voice role in an indie game, seriously, look up Nico Necro, I have to pay him double for podcast appearances. It's Firebutton Steve Valance.
Wait, you guys are getting paid? What? Hi everybody.
Forget Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok, his game of the year for the 7th year in a row is Pokemon Go. It rhymes, so it must be true. From Cereal Box 64, it's Jordan Sugru.
Hello.
When it comes to the upcoming Gears of War film, he's keen for Dave Bautista. It's Kelsey, aka Mr. KDB.
I'm always keen for Dave Bautista, let's be honest.
He's buying First Aid Spray for $66 billion just so we can redo the Rebecca Chambers profile episode again for every month. It's Moist Owlet, aka James.
This time with another hour of the stage.
And our special guest, over on his channel, he has an eye out for theories, insights, news and analysis. Tonight he bears witness to the absolute chaos that is a First Aid Spray quiz night. It's Retina.
Hi Rezzers, you alright?
Every episode of First Aid Spray is recorded live on our Discord server, so join now to hear the show early and unedited and to become part of our fantastic little community where we discuss life, the universe and Resident Evil. You can find a link to the server as well as all of our social media profiles at our website faspraypod.com. It's the support of our listeners that keeps First Aid Spray going, so why not check out our merchandise or our Patreon page. Tiers begin at just $1 a month. Head over to patreon.com/faspraypod for a full list and the chance to create bonus First Aid Spray content. It's been another quick sort of 1-2 podcast punch. Hasn't been too long, so there's not a lot going on from us. We've got a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline, I can reassure you. Bonus episodes and the return of Memory Card Lane after a short hiatus. But in the meantime, the brand new episode of Tier Death Experience is out for Mastermind level Patreons, where Berger, Jordan and Kelsey ranked the outfits of Leon S. Kennedy. So many jackets. And out publicly now on our YouTube is Now That's What I Call Survival Horror for Dino Crisis show and picking his top 10 tracks from that Survival Horror classic soundtrack. Go check that out if you haven't. Go watch the whole playlist again. It's a great show. That's all from us. Before we get into also quite a bare bones news, a very bare bones news, I'm going to circle back round to our special guest, Mr. Retina. Welcome to the show. I always like to let people kind of go back to the past, go back to the beginning. We want to know, because obviously you're a big part of the Resident Evil community, so something about the series is connected with you. What was your first experience with Resident Evil? What game was it? And, you know, what really made you fall in love with it?
Well, I guess the very first experience of Resident Evil for me was actually a PlayStation demo disc I saw, where I saw the original trailers with all the great big censored bars all over it, and that drew me in, and then I played the original, and I got so terrified of the music, it took me 20 years to complete.
It's kind of relatable to be fair. And here you are still today, you know, with your own Resident Evil focused channel. Obviously, link will be in the description for that. I don't know if you want to give, you know, this is your chance to sort of plug what is over on the Retina channel and what you've got coming up.
Well, but generally the channel covers, obviously, like you say, kind of news, obviously some big theories as well, like why the hell there's a zombie in the wardrobe, why does that helicopter crash for no reason. We also do other strange stuff. We've got our own version of Family Fortunes, or Family Feud if you're not in the UK. So obviously we've had First Aid Spray podcast on, along with many others like Team RPD, Residents of Evil. They're still going on their games as well. And we're going to have our first podcast episode soon as well. We're going to be having our discussion on the future of Resident Evil in hopefully the coming week or so.
Excellent. Yeah, I noticed that you got quite a lot going on because obviously you're recording all these Family Fortunes episodes. They're yet to come out. So obviously get on the ground level now, everyone. If you haven't, go and subscribe and get that stuff as it comes out. And we are in a fairly earlier episode of that, sort of part of the round 1 experience, which we recorded recently, which was great fun. And yeah, I saw you sort of gathering people for a podcast. So it's always, you know, great to see other people putting out content and, you know, opportunities like this for us to collaborate twice in 1 week, as luck would have it. You know, that stuff's always welcome.
Thank you.
Well, in that case, as I say, it's a very bare bones news. But Steve, would you like to take us to this pointless news topic?
Pointless? That's a bit harsh.
That's a bit harsh. Unofficial news topic.
Hello, what, can we get like a knockoff version of the news anthem? Right, so the unofficial Resident Evil fan game, Save Room, is now available on all consoles.
There's not been a whole lot of Resident Evil news, so I thought, you know what, it's at least an opportunity to talk about something different.
This is the one that's like based on RE4's inventory, right?
It is, yeah. Fractal Projects is the developer. They put it out on Steam. I didn't realise this. It came out in Steam in April this year, but it's now on all consoles. And it is, yes, it's a puzzle game that is just the attaché case from Resident Evil 4 in weird shapes. We have to move, guns around and reload guns as well to make space and heal and all kinds of stuff. It's genuinely like £4 or something. It's on offer as well at the moment, but I tried it out. It's quite enjoyable, actually. Clearly hasn't had, and I don't mean this in a harsh way, they haven't spent too long making it. It feels like a real old school sort of Flash indie game almost, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I just wanted to, because, it's a light news week, and when we covered Resident Evil 4's bonus modes, we got to talk about the HD project. So it's nice to do these kinds of shout-outs. So I thought, this is a good opportunity to say, yes, Save Room is out there to play. Has anybody got any interest in maybe picking this up? I can recommend it. For £3 or £4, you can't go wrong.
As someone who has a bit of an affinity for RE4's inventory system and attaché case, and I'm not normally one for your match 3 puzzles and things like that, so finally it's a puzzle game for my idiot brain to understand. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
It'll surprise you as well. Some of them really will make you sit there and sort of stare at it blankly for a little while, I'll admit. Anyone else?
I guess with the Save Room game, if I can put up with managing video files in her story, I think I'd be more than happy to start organising items in a box.
It'll give you a nostalgic sort of, twinge as well. Certainly, there are a few things there that definitely made me smile. So, yeah. First Aid Spray recommends.
Lovely.
Okay, well, that's all of the news, which is good because I have no idea how well the main topic of this podcast is going to go. It is Trivia Challenge Round 4, also known as First Aid Spray Does the Chase. And now, reading the file, Robert's note from Resident Evil 2 1998, in character as Robert Kendo, Michael S., who you can find at Casting Call Club at Miggity Mac.
How could this have happened, Barry? The town's been overrun by zombies, and has literally become a nightmare on Earth. As you know, my concern for this town is as great as your own. I have waited for your arrival on the assumption you were still in the area, but the threat of my shop being overwhelmed by zombies has become too great. I've already distributed the majority of weapons and ammo to the town's survivors, including that raging bull you special ordered. I hope you'd understand, given the circumstances. At any rate, I have no intention of pointlessly sacrificing my life, and will be retreating to Stoneville. If you get this message, meet me there. We'll go fishing. Robert Kendo.
It's been another year, can you believe it, off First Aid Spray, which means it is time for a trivia game. And not to downplay anyone's previous efforts, they've all been fantastic, but I've been Psy and I've gone way over the top with this. And I've tried to turn mine into a popular quiz game, a popular quiz TV show that you may know by the name of The Chase. It's been on UK television for about 12 years now and has crossed over into a lot of countries, so chances are you are aware of it, and if not, of course, we'll explain kind of how it works as we go through. There are going to be some tweaks to the formula because a lot of it is visual at some points, so we had to change some things up, but all those will be explained as we go. But this is a team game. It's going to be Team First Aid Spray against the Chaser. We'll see how well that goes for either side. It's going to be an interesting experience indeed. I want to do a shout out as well before we start to Luigi, who is in the text chat as we record, who's our special guest official scorekeeper, because the chase moves quite fast. Unlike all the other quizzes we've done before, most of the rounds of this are timed, so I need someone there to count the correct answers. So, before we begin, I have spun a wheel and determined the order that Team First Aid Spray are going to step up to the plate in round 1. And Steve, you get to go first. So, Steve,
oh, good.
How are you feeling about being the first panellist for First Aid Spray Does the Chase?
You know what the best part is? Like, I have had a bit of a busy week, ladies and gentlemen, so I haven't had a chance to actually watch any of this show. I know
Never
what the
seen
name
it.
is, but everyone else is like, yeah, I've watched 3 or 4 episodes for this, Stephen. Here's me hoping, I could probably not go first. I can see how it goes. Well,
Of course, that's the way it had to. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
yes.
Well, how this is going to work for the first round, we'll explain as we go. So the first round, for all the panelists, one at a time, is going to be 1 minute to answer as many questions about Resident Evil correct as you can. They're all Resident Evil, so you'll be fine. If you get it correct, we'll move on to the next question, see how many you do. If you get it incorrect, we'll move on. We don't get it correct. But you can also pass. Of course, there is a minute on the clock, so it's up to you whether or not you try and think of the answer or just move on. But yeah, essentially the aim of this first round is to get as many right answers as you can in a minute. And the number of right answers depends on how much. That will depend on how much lei, the popular Resident Evil currency of the era. You can call them pesetas if you want. It's all made up. You can't actually do anything. It's fake money. But for every correct answer, you will take 1,000 lei back to your team. So Steve,
All right.
Are you feeling ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, Steve, so you have a minute on the clock to answer as many of these correctly as possible, and your time starts now. Which Resident Evil game released in the UK before any other region?
Gaiden.
Correct. What is written on the back of Steve Burnside's unlockable costume in Darkside Chronicles?
Axe Monster.
Correct. In which real-life city did Chris and Claire Redfield grow up?
Chicago?
Incorrect. It was New York City. True or false, Richard Ware's Albert Wesker voice was inspired by Shere Khan from The Jungle Book?
Yeah, true.
Correct. Which Resident Evil game features posters advertising Dino Crisis?
3.
It's Survivor. In Dead Rising 4, Frank West can dress as which Resident Evil character?
Jill Valentine.
Correct. How many years is Alexia Ashford in cryogenic sleep for?
14.
15. The liquor BOW developed by Tricell are known as what specifically?
Liquor Beta.
Correct. What subtitle did the 2002 Paul Anderson Resident Evil movie originally have?
Pass.
Ground Zero. What was the name of George Trevor's wife?
Lisa? No. You're the
That's
one.
the time,
Jessica.
unfortunately. Oh, you just missed it. It was Jessica, but I can't give you it, unfortunately.
It's fine.
So our independent score checker has told us that you've got 5 correct answers there. That's 5,000 lei. It's not bad. It's pretty good. It's good to start.
Jesus, Steve.
I would not
You're going to
have
make
got
us all look
5 right
bad.
out of
Yeah, right. You got this.
I literally knew none of those.
I think I knew 1.
I can upgrade a handgun once. We're sorted. Right?
I actually don't know how much that's actually worth in Resident Evil Village, sort of like customization options. I really wish I'd made like a giant spreadsheet, but there you go. So that is sort of round 1 over. Steve, you carry on now, and it's time for you to go head to head with the Chaser. So welcome, RETINA, to the show. Welcome to First Day Spray Does the Chase. How are you feeling, sort of picked as the Chaser? I feel like it might be quite a responsibility.
It is quite a big responsibility, and I'm going to admit I'm actually slightly scared at some of the knowledge that Steve had just done. That was very impressive.
Well, to be fair, I think Steve was probably, no offence to anyone else, but Steve was definitely going to be your strongest opponent tonight. I think he's got the sort of most spread of knowledge, certainly. So how this is going to work at the second part, and this is the part of the show that is tweaked the most from the show because of the visual aspect. Well, I'll be asking multiple choice questions. A, B, C, or D. One of them is correct. Steve, I need you to put your answer in the text chat in spoiler tags, and RETINA, you do the same. Then we will reveal the answers. Steve will find out if you got it right, and also if we found out if the Chaser got it right. Steve, if you get 5 multiple choice questions correct, you are safe and you are back with your team, and you will take part in the final chase. There are 10 questions you can possibly be asked. So if you can't get 5 right within that 10, you're out. And if any point the Chaser has 2 questions correct that you don't, so 2 questions more correct than you. What's the wording I'm looking for here? 2 more correct answers than you do. There we go. Then you are also out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Okay. In that case, let's play the chase. Your first multiple choice question is, which of the following years did not see any video game or film releases from the Resident Evil franchise? Is it A, 1999, B, 2003, C, 2008, or D, 2013? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what you put. Steve, you put B, 2003. That is unfortunately incorrect.
Dang.
The correct answer is D, 2013. The chaser put 1999. So you actually both got it wrong. 2013, which is all right. That's not a bad thing. 2013 is the year after all the releases in 2012, so there wasn't anything there. 2003, no video games. I think one of the films came out that year, so I can see your line of thinking. And 1999 was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Yeah.
So your next multiple choice question. Which of the following is not a key found in Resident Evil 7? Is it A, the spider key, B, the snake key, C, the crow key, or D, the scorpion key? Steve, let's see what you put. You put A, the spider key. Feeling confident in that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. It's correct. The chaser also put spider key. So that's all right. You're slightly ahead. That's good. Okay.
I'm nervous. Anyone else nervous?
Your next question. Okay. Which Resident Evil character appeared as a bonus character in Capcom's Lost Planet 3? Was it A, Albert Wesker, B, Hunk, C, Chris Redfield, or D, Leon S. Kennedy?
Lost Planet 3.
Lost Planet 3.
Okay.
Steve, you put B. That's Hunk. That's correct. Excellent. The chaser also put B. So it's very tight indeed. Keeping up.
Yep.
I was totally in Lost Planet 2 mode then, so I was like, oh yeah, it's Wesker.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Exactly. That is the trick, isn't it? Okay. Your next multiple choice question. In what year was the Umbrella training facility opened? Was it A, 1958, B, 1968, C, 1978, or D, 1988?
Ooh.
Okay, Steve, you put C, 1978. That's incorrect, I'm afraid. Let's see what the chaser put. B, that is correct. 1968 is the correct answer. Oh no. So at this point,
Steve.
Yeah, the chaser is gaining. Steve needs to get 3 more correct answers. Retina, if you get the next one correct and Steve doesn't, Steve is out. Next question, number 5. Which of the following releases does not feature the Cerberus BOW? Is it A, Resident Evil 2002, B, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, C, Resident Evil Umbrella Corps, or D, Resident Evil Netflix? Tricky one. It's a tricky question. Steve, you put B, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Interesting answer. Let's see if it's correct. It is correct. And the chaser also put... No! The chaser put Umbrella Corps.
I was thinking of zombie dogs and then I go, Cerberus is a separate creature.
Exactly. That's exactly the logic behind it. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is zombie dogs. But Cerberus, developed by Umbrella for Umbrella Corps, so tied neck and neck.
This is nerve-wracking.
The stress is real. Your next question. How many test subjects are said to have died during the Usternack trials? Is it A, 96, B, 174, C, 290, or D, 322? Usternack, everyone's favourite BOW. Steve, you put C, 290, which is incorrect, I'm afraid. The correct answer is D, 322. Let's see what the chaser put. They also put C. You are safe. Question number 7. Question number 7. We're getting there. Resident Evil 4's Serenity theme samples David Torn's To Burble and Pine. Which new metal band also used this in a song? A, System of a Down, B, Slipknot, C, Mushroomhead, or D, Korn?
Well, oh god, new metal being totally Steve's
your jam. Yeah.
Yes.
Steve, you put D. The correct answer is D. It is Korn. Let's see what the chaser put. The chaser put A, System of a Down. That means, Steve, you are 1 away from getting home safely. You've extended your lead slightly. So let's see how you do with this one. Complete the name of this Resident Evil 4 treasure item. The green stone of A. Treason, B. Judgment, C. Glory, or D. Faith. Confident keyboard taps.
No, he's just saving.
That's what it is, yeah. Steve, let's see what you put. You put A for treason, which is incorrect. The correct answer was judgment. Let's see what the chaser put. Treason as well. Okay, so it's still very tight. There's 2 more questions, Steve. You've got to get one of these right.
Okay, no pressure.
The back of the box of Resident Evil 2's PAL PC version mistakenly claims Claire Redfield as what? A. A police officer, B. A reporter, C. A medic, or D. An engineer? I forgot how tricky some of these are. Really glad. Steve, you put B, a reporter. Let's see if that's correct. If it is, you're going back to your team. It's correct. Steve, you are free. You have made it back to your team with 5,000 lei. Well done. That was tight.
Oh my God.
Retina, let's see if you got it right as well. You didn't, an engineer. But Steve, well done. Well done.
I'm exhausted. That was a run.
That was very good.
Well done to both of you. That was great. Well, okay, well, that being the case, we will move on to our next panellist. Jordan, you're up next to see how many answers you can get correct in a minute. How are you feeling after witnessing that?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty tense. I'm really looking forward to following that, guys.
I can hear the confidence emanating from you. Okay, well, if you're ready, I will hit go.
Okay.
Your time starts now. Which Resident Evil game was part of the Capcom 5 of GameCube releases?
Resident Evil 4.
Correct. What animal was on the antique coins in Resident Evil 7?
Oh, pass.
It's a pelican. What weapon does the Wind Crest ultimately unlock for the player in Resident Evil's remake?
Pass.
It was a Magnum. Before its destruction in 1998, who was mayor of Raccoon City?
Pass.
Michael Warren. What is the name of the insect BOW in Resident Evil 4?
A pass.
Navistador. What's the name of the donut shop in Resident Evil 3 Remake?
Pass.
Moon Donuts. What's the name of the Capcom crossover card battling game that features Jill Valentine as a playable character?
Teppen.
Correct. Billy Cohen's Mother Love tattoo is a reference to which rock band?
Spinal Tap.
It's Queen. Who provided the voice for Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 5?
Pass.
Roger Craig Smith. Which character in Resident Evil's 2002 remake has the most amount of dialogue? That's the time, unfortunately, I'm afraid.
Thank goodness. I don't know how I managed to get 2 answers right.
That's 2,000 lei. It's something at least. It's something to take back to the team, to give to your charity of choice, I guess. That's how the show usually works. So, in that case, let's see. Chaser, how do you feel about going up against Jordan? That was much less of a formidable performance, at least.
I've got to say, it's impressive the amount of questions you got through, but not the amount of answers you gave. But
Well said, I think. Well said. Okay, well, in that case, we already know how round 2 works. Jordan, you need to get 5 of these multiple choice questions correct. 10 will get you out of the quiz, unfortunately, and we'll send you packing. Or if at any point Retina has 2 answers correct that you do not. So, let's begin. Your first question. Resident Evil 0, as part of the Origins collection, features achievements that pay homage to which 1990s Jim Carrey comedy? Is it A, The Mask, B, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, C, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, or D, Liar Liar? There's some weird ones in here. Okay, Jordan, you've locked in your answer. Let's see what you've put. Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. Interesting choice. Correct answer is When Nature Calls. Well done. Let's see what the Chaser put. Chaser put A. The Mask. You know, reasonable expectation, I think. But yes, there's some weird achievements and then something to do with the bat and guano. I don't know, something like that. Your next question. The VACT process is responsible for the Crimson Head, the Liquor, and which other BOW? Is it A, the Drain Demos, B, the Bandersnatch, C, the Vulcan Blubber, or D, Bloodshot? Jordan, you've locked in your answer as D, Bloodshot. The correct answer is Bloodshot, well done. And Retina, the Chaser, has also put D. So neck and neck still. Mm-hmm. Going good so far. Here's a fun one for you then. How many squares are in the default attaché case in Resident Evil 4? Is it A, 60, B, 70, C, 80, or D, 90? Okay, Jordan, you have locked in B for 70. Let's see if you're correct. The correct answer was 60, I'm afraid.
Ooh.
Chaser has also put 70, though. So you're all good. Still all good. This is tense in a different way. The next question. In which Resident Evil Outbreak scenario does the axe-wielding Dr. Lester appear? Is it A, End of the Road, B, Hellfire, C, Below Freezing Point, or D, Flashback? So, Jordan, you've locked in C for Below Freezing Point. The correct answer is Flashback, I'm afraid. Ooh. Let's see what the Chaser put. End of the Road. So neither of you got that correct. So again, at least that's something. So after 4, Jordan on 2, Retina on 1. Your next question. Which beloved actor lent their voice to the trailer of Resident Evil Retribution? Was it A, Patrick Stewart, B, Christopher Lee, C, Ian McKellen, or D, Michael Gambon? You learn some weird trivia on this show, you do.
Yeah. I'm about to learn from this answer right now.
Okay, Jordan, you've locked in D, Michael Gambon. Interesting choice. The correct answer is Patrick Stewart. Chaser put also Michael Gambon.
Most likely out of the lot.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but there you go.
Big Dumbledore fans. Big Dumbledore fans.
Apparently so.
My first thought was just Top Gear with that famous corner that everyone slides off.
Oh, yeah.
Gambon.
Yeah. Okay, your next question. How many pesetas is the Staff of Royalty worth in Resident Evil 4? Is it A, 15,000, B, 18,000, C, 20,000, or D, 25,000? Jordan, you've gone for 25,000. The correct answer is 20,000.
Ooh.
And a Chaser got that correct, I'm afraid. So, where does that put the scores? You are now level after 6 questions. Yeah, it's getting tricky now. Let's see how this one goes. What is the name of the cancelled PSP Resident Evil title? Was it A, Resident Evil Online, B, Resident Evil Portable, C, Resident Evil Dash, or D, Resident Evil Go? Jordan, you're going for Resident Evil Portable. Do you remember this? It was an E3 a long time ago.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I don't think people remember this.
But there are like 100 different cancelled PSP games with portable in the name.
It's very good. It's very good reasoning. The correct answer is Resident Evil Portal. The Chaser put Resident Evil Portal as well. So still neck and neck, both on 3, with only 3 questions remaining. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jordan, which of the following is not a member of the Hound Wolf squad? I don't know if you've even played Village yet. Is it A, Night Owl, B, Mongrel, C, Canine, or D, Tundra?
This is a shot in the dark, this is.
You've gone for Tundra. The correct answer is Mongrel, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Which the Chaser got correct. Okay, well, Chaser, if you get this one correct, you send Jordan packing. In Biohazard 4D Executioner, what breed of dog contracts the T-virus? Is it A, a Doberman, B, the German Shepherd, C, Labrador, or D, a Bulldog? Can you tell I went through old Resi Facts posts? We're just looking for weird stuff. Jordan, you have gone for the German Shepherd. Understandable reasoning, certainly. It's incorrect, I'm afraid. It's a Labrador.
Yeah.
The Chaser put Bulldog. So, this is your last chance. This is your last question, I believe. So you need to get this one right to get back to your team. Which of the following games don't include an item called the Red Jewel? Is it A, Resident Evil 1, B, Resident Evil 2, C, Resident Evil Code Veronica, or D, Resident Evil Outbreak? Tensions are high. Jordan, you have locked in D for Resident Evil Outbreak. If you get this wrong and the Chaser gets it right, well, if you get this wrong, it's all over. Doesn't matter if the Chaser gets it right. Come to think of it, this is the last question. The correct answer is Resident Evil 1. where it's called the red gem.
Yeah.
Tricky. Let's see what the chaser put. They also got it wrong, but Jordan, unfortunately for you, the chase is over.
I tried my best, and it wasn't enough.
There were some really tough ones in there. I mean,
There was
I
some
got
tough
flummoxed by that last one especially.
Well, that was a very, very tough round. Well done, well played, Jordan, but unfortunately, that is the show for you, I'm afraid.
Thank you.
Okay, Kelsey, you're up next.
Hooray.
How you feel? Oh, I like the excitement. I like that.
Well, I feel like, the program, I know this isn't Mastermind, but I feel like I'm listening to Mastermind, and I feel like that I was maybe an understudy for a contestant, and I've been roped in, and I didn't do any research, and I've never seen the show before, and I'm just like, I have no idea how I'm going to survive this. I'm terrified.
Well, it's a tricky one. I mean, not to excuse myself, but writing quizzes is so hard because you don't know what the level of knowledge to go for is.
Sure.
Like if I turn it down too much, everyone just instantly wins. It's no fun.
No, that's fine. I'm happy to to be crucified.
To suffer.
I think I've got one in all the questions I've heard, so there's a chance.
Oh goodness. Well, okay. In that case, let's see how many you can get correct in a minute of time. And your time starts now. Who designed the Samurai Edge handgun?
Chris Redfield. Pass.
Joseph Gendo, yeah. What state is Mia Winter's driving license from?
Pass.
Texas. What is the name of the USS soldier playable in Resident Evil 2's Ghost Survivors DLC?
Pass.
It's Ghost. What's the name of the unlockable burst fire handgun from Resident Evil 4?
Pass.
It's Matilda. True or false, Resident Evil 6 was the first full game in the series to feature Japanese voice acting?
True.
False, it was Revelations. What year does Resident Evil Revelations 2 take place?
2008.
Yeah, it's 2011. Which member of STARS was dating a woman named Bridget before their death?
Pass.
Richard Aiken. What is the maximum capacity of the custom shotgun in the original Resident Evil 2?
12.
Incorrect, it's 7. Karen Strassman portrays which character in Resident Evil 2 Remake?
Pass.
It's time, I'm afraid.
Jesus, I misheard that first question. I thought you said who owns a Samurai Edge, so I might have got that one, but whatever.
That is a big stonking zero lay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure has that ever happened in the chase? Probably.
Yeah.
Let's say it has. It's just...
Yeah, it has now.
Well, let's see, Kelsey, if you can take your zero lay
No problem.
back to the team. It's not all about that though. At the very least, obviously, who gets past takes place in the final chase. So the more heads, the better. So let's see if we can get you back to that desk as you go up against the chaser. Retina, you must be feeling pretty smug right now.
Yeah, it's pleasing to have someone who's going to be remembered for only having 0 lay on a score.
I'll take it.
Don't worry, it won't be there long.
Okay, again, you guys know how this works. 10 questions. Kelsey, you've got to get 5 right.
Yeah.
Retina has to beat you by 2. Your first question. The High Roller is a weapon in Resident Evil Revelations raid mode. What type of gun is it? Is it A, a handgun, B, a shotgun, C, the fully automatic rifle, or D, the machine pistol? Kelsey, you've locked in C, fully automatic rifle. Let's see if that's the correct answer. Off to a good start. It is the correct answer. Well done. That must be nice.
Yes, that feels fantastic, actually.
And let's see what the chaser put. They also got it correct.
Yeah, I had a bit of a weird logic with that. I thought it must be an expensive gun and only rich people could afford it, so High Roller.
Your next question. At the time of its formation, which member of STARS was the oldest? Was it A, Enrico Marini, B, Albert Wesker, C, Barry Burton, or D, Kenneth J. Sullivan? Kelsey, you have gone for C, Barry Burton. The correct answer is Kenneth J. Sullivan.
Ooh.
But that's okay, because the chaser also put C, Barry Burton. So you're still tied 1 apiece. Your next question. What is Neptune's internal designation within Umbrella? Is it A, FI3, B, FI4, C, SH3, or D, AQ3? Numbers and letters. Kelsey, you've put D, AQ3. Correct answer is A, FI3. And the chaser put FI3, that's correct. Not a good sign. So if you get this incorrect and the chaser gets it right, Kelsey, the game is over for you, I'm afraid.
Sure, I will be died.
Let's see how dramatically you have died. Your next question. In Resident Evil's 2002 remake, what is the final date recorded in the Keeper's Diary? Is it A, May 18th, B, May 19th, C, May 20th, or D, May 21st? The final date recorded in the Keeper's Diary. Kelsey, you've locked in an answer for C, May 20th. The correct answer is May 21st.
Oh, goodness.
And the chaser is put May 20th. You are still in it. Starting to sweat now.
Hanging by a thread.
Hanging by a thread. Let's see if this is your golden rope of opportunity. Your next question. Silver Dax is the code name for which Resident Evil character? Is it A, Nikolai, B, Mikhail, C, Krauser, or D, Glenn Arias? Silver Dax. You've put Glenn Arias from Resident Evil Vendetta. The correct answer is Krauser. And the chaser has put Nikolai. So both of you get that one wrong. That means you're still in the game, Kelsey. Still in the game.
By default.
By default, it still counts. That's 5 questions gone, though, so we need to get some of these correct answers in. Let's see if this one fares you any better. Resident Evil Apocalypse shares the same theatrical release date as which other Anderson film? A, Resident Evil, B, Resident Evil Extinction, C, Resident Evil Afterlife, or D, Resident Evil Retribution? Could be any of them. I don't think anybody here memorises release dates, so it's a tough one indeed. Kelsey, you've put B for Resident Evil Extinction. The correct answer is C, Resident Evil Afterlife. The chaser has put Resident Evil Afterlife. Oh no!
Ouch.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well done, Retina.
Thank you. It's very good. I think that's the first time I've got someone out actually without having to wait until the end. So very happy with that.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah.
I can do if you want.
Kelsey, well played. Well played. Both of you, well done. Unfortunately,
Well played, yeah.
Well, you know, I've got to do the nice, happy, smiley host
Yeah.
thing. But I do unfortunately also have to say that for you, the chase is over. Well, James, you're up last. Steve is all alone on the final chase team. Let's see if we can get him a buddy. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Good.
You've
I'm
got
glad.
this, James. Come on.
Don't listen to the DMs.
Let's
right
play.
now.
Let's play
I'm-
co-pilot. You've got this.
No, don't.
Okay, well, James, you know the score. You've got a minute to answer as many questions correctly
Yeah, my
as
score
possible.
will be 0.
You can pass. Let's see if we can add to Steve's 5,000 lei. And your time starts now. Which games console was Resident Evil originally being designed for before the PlayStation?
N64.
It was the Super Nintendo. What is the name of Jake Mueller's machine gun in Resident Evil 6?
The Terminator.
The Bear Commander. What kind of insect is the Plague Crawler, BOW?
Cockroach.
Correct. What's the name of Rebecca and Richard's side story in Umbrella Chronicles?
Something Nightmares.
I'll take it, it's Nightmare. In the first episode of Resident Evil Netflix, which animal does Jade test her zero deterrent on?
Rabbit.
Correct. In which month was the original Resident Evil released?
July.
It's March. Jill Valentine's ancestry in the game is Japanese and which European nationality?
Dutch.
It's French. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis parodies a popular fast food chain. Which is it?
Pass.
It's Burger King. Which prolific voice actor played the role of Jason in Resident Evil Infinite Darkness?
Matt Mercer.
That is time, unfortunately, and the last answer you were looking for was Ray Chase.
Oh, god damn it.
That's 3 correct answers according to our official scorekeepers, so thank you for that. So well done. That's 3,000 lei to contribute to the pot. If you can make it past the chaser. Chaser, how are you feeling? That's a little bit better than 0.
It's better than the last score, and there was some, and the answers you did get right, there were ones even I didn't know, so I think you've got a pretty good chance this time.
Okay, if I, flirt with the audience, do I get, extra points?
You have to ask
That's what
Lou,
they do
I
on the
think,
chase,
yeah.
right?
You have to ask Luigi.
Alright, I'm going to PM. I'm going to DM you right now, Lou.
Now, you might not want to do that. You might want to keep your eyes on the live chat because your second round begins now. Again, 5 questions correctly will get you back home to Steve, and you guys can take on the final chase together. If at any point Retina has 2 answers correct and you do not, you are out. And if you answer 10 answers, go through 10 questions and don't get 5 answers, you are out. Your first question: which Resident Evil 2002 remake key item appears in Resident Evil Village? Is it A, a star crest, B, the lure of the bee, C, arrowhead, or D, the Book of Curses? Resident Evil Village question to start, so that's promising. James, you've gone for A, the star crest. The correct answer is lure of the bee. It's on the handle of one of the handguns.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Let's see what the chaser put. The chaser put Book of Curses, so you're safe at least.
It's on the M17, 1917, right?
Yeah, the M1911, I think it is. But yes.
Oh, that's the one.
Okay, your next question. It's a bit of a doozy. How many typewriters are there in Resident Evil's 2002 remake? Is it A, 7, B, 8, C, 10, or D, 12? It's not an Eminem reference, but it could be if you want it to be. James, you've locked in B for 8. The correct answer is 10. The chaser has put 12. Fantastic. We didn't have it last year. That was how many typewriters were in the original game. I checked to make sure. Yes, that's a throwback to last year's quiz, certainly. Your next question: which of the following games is Peter Fabiano not credited as a producer on? Is it A, Resident Evil Revelations 2, B, Resident Evil 7, C, Resident Evil 2 2019, or D, Resident Evil Village? Peter Fabiano, which one of these did he not work on? Or not, at least not credited on? James, you've locked in Resident Evil Village. The correct answer is Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Okay.
And RETINA, the chaser, has put Revelations 2. So the chaser is ahead by 1. 1 more means, James, you're going home, unfortunately.
Poopy.
Poopy indeed. Your next question is: what colour is the vaccine item in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis? Is it A, red, B, purple, C, blue, or D, pink? You've locked in your answer for blue. The correct answer is purple. The chaser has put purple. Oh no! Well,
I was going to say the purple vaccine is the same sprite from Resident Evil 2 as the G virus as well.
It is actually. Yes, it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, James, the chase for you is over. And now, reading the file Luis's Memo 3 from Resident Evil 4, in character as Luis Serra, Kyle Voices, who you can follow on Twitter at Kyle Reese Marsh.
The hideous creatures, such as the El Gigante and the Novistadors, are merely byproducts of the diabolical and inhumane experiments conducted on the specimens that were once human. But there's one type of creature that clearly distinguishes itself from the rest. These creatures are called regenerators. Regenerators have a superior metabolism that allow them to regenerate their lost body parts at incredible speeds. I've never seen anything like it. It is this characteristic that makes them almost invincible to conventional weapons. But like any living creature, there's a way to kill it. Apparently there are plagas that live in its body, somewhat like leeches. They can't be seen with the naked eye. They can only be located through thermal imaging. To stop its regeneration process, these leech-like plagas must be located and then destroyed. As far as I know, most of the regenerators host a number of these leech-like plagas. To kill the regenerators, each one of these leech-like plagas must be killed.
Steve, how are you feeling all alone there with your 5,000 lei?
I'm cold!
Oh, I feel like I've brutalised everyone and that was not my intention. But never mind, it's happened, unfortunately.
It's very well made. I have to give you credit.
It's going really, at least it's going, like, technically speaking, very well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Steve, you stand alone in the final round. Let's see if you can give those 5,000 lei to a charity or duke of your choice.
Go on, Steve.
To take those lei home, you need to answer for me as many questions as you can correctly in 2 minutes. And then we will take that number of questions to the chaser and essentially see if they can match it. So you've got 2 minutes to answer as many questions correctly as possible. How are you feeling?
Can I pass if I don't know, or just go pass and just move
You
on?
absolutely can pass. Yes, you can pass.
I would say, can I confer with my colleagues, but
No, your colleagues have all gone home. They're all in the taxi already, so it's just you on your own, Steve, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So I've also now been informed before we begin. You get, as the one person, you get a handicap of getting pushed forward by one. So you get an automatic answer. So there you go, that's nice. So, well, with that being said, it's time to play the final chase. Steve, your 2 minutes starts now. In Resident Evil 1.5, what was the name of the character who eventually became Robert Kendo?
John.
Correct. What's the name of the unlockable mode in Resident Evil 0?
Leech Hunter.
Correct. On what date is Raccoon City destroyed?
October 1st.
Correct. What's the name of the railgun in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis?
Paracelsus Sword.
Correct. The yellow herb made its debut in which game?
4.
Correct. What was the name of the scrapped cybernetic Resident Evil character who eventually became Barry Burton?
Gelzer.
Correct. Chris Redfield's special ability in Village's Mercenaries is called what?
Pass.
It's Onslaught. The Sega Saturn is home to which Resident Evil game?
Resident Evil 1.
Correct. Which UK comedy had a 1999 episode that heavily featured Resident Evil 2?
Spaced.
Correct. The Raccoon City Sharks were what kind of a sports team?
American football.
Correct. What human rights agency does Claire Redfield work for?
Terror Save.
Correct. Which classic Street Fighter move can Albert Wesker perform in Resident Evil 5's The Mercenaries?
Tiger Knee.
It's Tiger Uppercut, I'm afraid. How many hit
Frick.
pouches can players find in Resident Evil 3 Remake?
4?
It's 8. In which Resident Evil game does the sniper rifle first appear?
4.
Code Veronica.
No.
What is the name of Moira Burton's sister?
Holly.
Correct. Which famous horror film director directed the live-action commercial for Resident Evil 2?
George Romero.
Correct. E001 is the codename for which POW?
Evelyn.
Correct. What's the name of the first-person minigame in Resident Evil Deadly Silence?
Master of Nothing.
Correct. Billy Rabbitson was an old friend of which Resident Evil protagonist?
Chris Redfield.
Correct. Finish the line. Do I have your attention, boy? You are about to see...
Something Wonderful.
Correct. The Nintendo 64 is home to which Resident Evil game?
Resident Evil 2.
Correct. And that's your time. Well done. I feel like that was very good.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing.
That's 18 questions correct. So that's pretty good going. So now, Chaser, it's time for you to see how well you do. How are you feeling about 18 in 2 minutes?
That's very, very impressive, I've got to say. There were some really, really tough questions in there as well, but I'll give it a go.
You got this.
I don't think you're supposed to be rooting for me, mate.
I was going to say, he's even rooting for you.
I like to be a good sport, you know.
Well, the way this is going to work, the Chaser has 2 minutes to match as many answers as Steve got correct. If at any point the Chaser gets an answer wrong, I will pause the clock, and Steve, you will have a chance to steal. Get a few seconds and take your first answer. If you get the answer correct, you push the Chaser back, and the Chaser needs to answer another question correctly in order to match your score. If the Chaser matches, they win. If the Chaser doesn't manage this in 2 minutes, Steve, you get to take your 5,000 lei home and spend it on whatever upgrade you want. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Chaser, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, your 2 minutes on the clock start now. What's the name of the plant BOW in Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles?
Oh, I say Plant 43.
It's incorrect, I'm afraid. Steve, do you want to stop the clock and all that business? Sorry, this is my order.
It's not the Jaguar S3, is it?
It's not. It's the IV plus YX, I'm afraid.
Dang.
Chaser, your time starts again now. Which Resident Evil game's box infamously had a typo on its sleeve?
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis?
Stop the clock. Steve, can we steal this?
Resident Evil Revelations.
That's correct. Push the Chaser back. The Chaser hasn't moved forward, but well done anyway. Chaser, your time starts again now. Paul Haddad's performance of Leon was inspired by which Star Wars actor?
Harrison Ford?
Correct. What's the name of the triple-barreled shotgun in Resident Evil 5?
Oh, Hydra?
Correct. In which Resident Evil game might you find the gas launcher?
Code Veronica?
Incorrect. Stop the clock. Steve, what do we reckon?
Sherwin. It's Gaiden.
It is Gaiden. Push the Chaser back 1. Chaser, your time starts again now. Which Hunter variant has the ability to go invisible?
Farfarello?
Correct. Which actor played Dr. Isaacs in the Paul W.S. Anderson films?
Oh. No, I can't remember his name.
Stop the clock. Steve?
Ian Glenn.
That's correct. Push
Yeah.
the Chaser back. Chaser is on 1 with 1 minute and 13 left. It's looking good for you, Steve, but don't count it out just yet. Chaser, your time starts again now. What year is Rosemary Winters born?
2021?
Stop the clock. Steve, what have you got?
Is it 2020?
That's correct. Push the Chaser back. Back to 0. That's impressive. Chaser, your time starts again now. What is the name of Javier Hidalgo's crime syndicate?
No, I'll have to pass.
Steve, what have you got?
The Sacred Snakes.
Correct. That's okay. It doesn't matter, but well done. Chaser, your time starts again now. What type of insect is the scissortail BOW?
Woodlouse.
Stop the clock. I'd love it if it was. Steve, what have you got for us?
Is it a crawfish? I don't know.
It's an earwig. Chaser. Yeah, exactly. Chaser, your time starts again now. The character of Hoffman in Resident Evil 7's 21 DLC shares his name with the character from which horror movie franchise?
Scream?
Stop the clock, Steve. Want to take
I
this?
have no merry idea.
The correct answer is Saw. Chaser, your time starts again now. You've got to make 18 in 46 seconds. Best of luck. What is the name of the BOW soldiers in Resident Evil Survivor that disintegrate?
No, I don't know.
Stop the clock, Steve. What have you got?
Is it the Sweepers / Nightmen?
I will take Trash Sweeper Cleaner. The official name I think is Undertaker, but I'll take it. But it doesn't matter. But I'll take it anyway. Chaser, your time.
I mean, don't
starts
take
again.
it. Don't take it. I feel awful as it is.
Chaser, your time starts again now. What is the name of Jason's army unit in Resident Evil Infinite Darkness?
No, I'm doing terrible with this. I don't know.
Oh no! Stop the clock, Steve. Any want to chime in? It's correct. Chaser, your time starts again now. According to Barry, what is really powerful against living things?
Acid rounds?
Correct. What brand are the beer bottles found in Resident Evil 7?
I don't Mississippi beer.
Stop the clock. It's a good guess. Steve, what have you got?
Dolphin beer.
That's correct. Push the Chaser back to 0, I believe. Yep. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Chaser. I feel so terrible, but your time starts again now. In Resident Evil 5's Desperate Escape DLC, the playable characters are Jill Valentine and whom?
Chris Redfield.
Incorrect. Steve.
I'm kind of blanking my brain. I'm going to pass.
The correct answer is Josh Stone. Chaser, your time starts again now. Which Resident Evil voice actor also portrayed their character in the Anderson films? That's time, I'm afraid. The correct answer for the last one was Sally Carhill as Ada. She did the voice for Ada, even if she didn't play her physically on screen. Wow, that was a dramatic final round. It seems that the brutal questions came back around to haunt the other side. And the final score, as we have it right now, is 22-0. Sorry, Retina. I feel like we pulled you on and then just kind of like pulled your pants down there.
I mean, if we do this again, can we please...
No, we didn't.
I was going to say, if we do this again, can we please ban Steve?
I mean, to be fair, last time Steve was the quizmaster because he royally rocked the previous quiz. So, Steve, I think you're up for the quiz again next year, by the looks of things.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, Steve, you can take your 5,000 lei home with you. What are you going to spend it on?
Therapy.
For Retina's sake, yes.
Yeah.
Buy him a first aid spray, I think.
I want a yellow herb as well. I want more health.
Oh, man. Well, that's the whole show. I hope we did it in an hour. Oh, my God. I've got nothing else.
Oh.
It would have gone
Can
longer if
I,
we weren't all so dumb.
I want to apologise. I feel like I wasn't trying to be rude or mean or anything. And
Steve, you're just playing the quiz how it's designed. It's...
Okay.
There was a point where Steve was just like, he didn't even want to give the right answers. It was just a natural compulsion to give the right answer.
I didn't really do myself any
Steve, how many
favours.
Game Boys did Leon Kennedy have? 4. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, see, with a taste of that, you should certainly subscribe to Retina's channel, because I feel bad, and see how we fare on Family Fortunes when the tables turn and he gets to be Quizmaster. But Retina, thank you for joining us for First Day Spray Does the Quiz. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you, and please don't let this be an acknowledgement of my Resident Evil knowledge. It is actually much better than this.
It absolutely is. Let this be an acknowledgement that I don't know how to write a quiz. Well,
I mean, speaking from a biased standpoint, I can't help but feel that you wrote a very good quiz, but all it, you know, that.
Now, I as the voice of the dead, one of the dead ones, I think this was a great quiz.
It was.
And you did it. No, seriously, you did a great job, because these, like, you could, like, with Resident Evil, you can really, like, you know, there's a lot of information out there that's readily known. So I think you did quite well here. And I do feel for you, Retina. That's pretty harsh at the same time.
It also doubles as a Resident Evil facts episode, because there's just so much stuff that I learned as I was actually giving answers. I was like, oh, it was that.
I literally, that is how I started making it. Was like, well, I'm just going to scroll back through my Resi facts document and find all the really obscure that is potentially guessable. But apparently, I guess not.
Yeah, you guessed right.
Unless you're Steve.
Well, nothing else remains for me but to thank our contributors, our patrons, and our listeners. Join the First Aid Spray Discord server to become part of our community and hear the show early and unedited. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and more. All of these links and all of our content can be found at faspraypod.com. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcasting apps. And if you like what you hear, please do leave us a review where you can and spread the good word. Don't forget you can support the show by picking up some merchandise or at patreon.com/FASprayPod for as little as $1 a month. In Season 5 of the show, we will yet again be covering the latest releases, with Resident Evil 4 Remake on the way, as well as several all-time classic titles that our listeners have demanded, as well as the concluding chapters of Book Club, a return to Wildstorm's comics, and much, much more. Join us all as it kicks off next episode with our long-awaited review of Resident Evil Reverse. Thank you to the panel. You can follow us, all of us, individually. I'm at Syniac_123. Steve is at FB Steve Was Taken. Jordan is at SerialBox64. James is at MoistOwl@OFF. Kelsey is at K_D_B_. And Retina is at Retina8719. And finally, thank you for listening and have a good week. Fantastic. In that case, unless anybody has anything, we should probably start. Because I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't think it's going to be very long. Not going to be a usual podcast episode.
No.
It might be a big farce. So I just want to prepare for the possibility that it becomes a mess.
We're recording that audio, so therefore we now have proof for an outtake when this runs over for 4 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we all.
Before we begin, does anyone need the toilet?
No, God! Oddly enough, I went before recording like a good little boy.
Oh God, stop asking me that.
I feel judged.